Hello champions, it's Miss Sutherland. It is day 3 of rounding and we're going to bump it up another notch. We're going to be rounding to the tens, hundreds, and thousands, and our numbers are going to be to the thousands place. So we're dealing with bigger numbers with bigger place value. So I'm curious if your parents gave you any ideas about when they would use rounding in real life. I'd love if you were able to share that with us. We might not have gotten to it the other day, but also, can you think of any more clue words? So some synonyms for rounding to share with us. I had to fix my screen. Today we are going to be rounding to numbers to the thousands place. Well, to the tens, hundreds, and thousands, but our numbers are going to be pretty big today. So let's do some practice problems. Let's practice the number 3,705, and let's round that to the tens place. Okay, so we're still going to go through our steps. We're going to find the place. So this number has 3 thousands, 700s, 0 tens, and 5 ones. So if I were to underline the tens place, that would be the 0. Check. I'm going to look right next door. That's the ones. Check. And those two numbers are going to help me round. Now, do we see any tricky nines? No, so we don't have to worry about that. For this number, the 3,000 is going to stay the same, and even the hundreds place is going to stay the same. The only thing changing would be the tens and the ones. So let's just look at the tens and the ones. I have the number 5. So which two tens is between the number 5? Well, nothing and 10. So it can either round down to 3,700 or up to 3,710. Let's look at the circled number. The circled number, and let me ask myself, is it greater than or equal to 5? Yes. Since we said yes, we round up. Our answer is 3,710. Make sure you have your comma. If you don't have this guy, your comma, your answer is technically not correct. Let's try another one to the tens. I want you to pause the screen and try it yourself once I write the number. 4,523. All right. So let's go through the steps. Oh, this number has 4 thousands, 500s, 2 tens, and 3 ones. So underline the place. 2 is in the tens place. Circle right next door. Those are the two important numbers. Do I have any tricky nines? No. So the 4,000s are going to stay the same, and the 500 stays the same. The only thing changing is the tens and the ones place. So let's look at the tens and the ones. It says 23. Which two tens is 23 between? It can round down to 20 or up to 30. See how we did that? Really, we're just looking at this area right here. So look at the circled number. Is the circled number greater than or equal to 5? No. 3 is less than 5. So that means since we said no, we round down. So 4,523 rounds down to 4,520. Hopefully you paused and checked your answer. Now this time, we're going to round to the hundreds. Okay, so let's do the number 7,509. Okay, so this time let's find the hundreds place. This number has 7 thousands, 500s, 0 tens, and 9 ones. So let's underline the hundreds place, which is the 5. Look right next door, which is the 0. So I underline, I circle. And we're going to go from there. Now this time there's the 9 in the ones place is not super important to us. It's already going to become a 0, so I just X it out so that it doesn't confuse you. You don't need that 9. Okay, so do we see any tricky 9s? Well, we had a 9, but we crossed it out. It wasn't important to us, so we don't have any tricky 9s. So the thousands again stay the same, but this time do the hundreds stay the same? No, not necessarily, because it's underlined. The underlined and the circled number we have to do something with. So let's just look at the two numbers, 50. So which two numbers are between 50? 50 and 60. But I'm missing something. I'm missing something in the ones place. Yes, I have to add that 0 as a placeholder. Because remember, we're rounding to the hundreds. So 500 or 600. So the circled number is 0. Is the circled number greater than or equal to 5? No. Since we said no, we round down. 7,500 is the rounded answer. Okay, let's try one more. I'd like you to pause once I write it. We're again rounding to the hundreds. Let's do the number. All right. So 4,995, we're going to round that to the hundreds. This number has 4 thousands, 9 hundreds, 9 tens, and 5 ones. The hundreds is the first 9. I circle right next door. I don't need this 5 right now, so remember to cross it out so it doesn't confuse you. Do I have tricky 9s? Yes. So we cannot do our regular trick with the thousands place. I do have tricky 9s. They're right next to each other as well. So I can look at what I'm going to round down to. It will stay the same at 4,000. But since I have those tricky 9s, I have to hold off. So 9 is in the hundreds. So it'll either stay a 900 or bump up to the next 100. So 900 plus 100 actually bumps us to the next place. So it would bump us up to the 1,000. Okay, that's why it's tricky 9s, because 900 plus an extra 100 bumps up to the next 1,000. So 4,000 plus 1,000 equals 5,000. So that's why it's tricky. Bumps you to the next place. So let's look at the circled number 9. Is 9 greater than or equal to 5? Yes. So it rounds up to 5,000. How'd you do? So now we're going to round to the thousands. The number 2,760. This number has 2,706 tens, 0 ones. Let's find the thousands place. Is it 2? We look right next door to the 7. These two numbers don't matter right now. So let's look at the thousands. It's either going to stay at 2,000 or bump up to 3,000, since I didn't have any tricky knots. Let's look at the circled number. Does the circled number, or is the circled number greater than or equal to 5? Yes. So since it's greater than or equal to 5, it's going to round up to 3,000. This next one, I'd like you to pause and try on your own. 5,099. So again, we're still rounding to the thousands. I'm just going to abbreviate it TH. So this number has 5,000, 0 hundreds, 9 tens, and 9 ones. So let's underline the thousands place, look right next door. Now, do they have tricky 9s? This number has tricky 9s, but did I circle or underline any tricky 9s? No. So they are actually not important to the problem, even though they're there. So I double tricked you. So pause the video if you haven't paused, or try this one on your own. So which two, since the tricky 9s are not anything important, I know that 5,000 is going to stay the same. Oh, sorry, go back. It's either going to stay at 5,000 or go up to 6,000. Okay, so the circled number is a 0. Since that circled number is a 0, is it greater than or equal to 5? No. So it rounds down to 5,000. All right, now it's your turn. So the first 3, you're going to round to the tens. The next 3, you're going to round to the hundreds. So pause the screen so you can write these down. And the last 3, you're going to round to the thousands. Okay, so take your time. If you have questions when we get on Zoom, that'd be a great place for you to ask me, but keeping it somewhere in a notebook would be a great idea. I also have a riddle for us today. So I'm going to be doing a riddle of the day each day. It's kind of a fun little math riddle, and see if you can figure out the answer. So where do fish keep their money? I'm going to write this for us. Where Do fish keep their money? Where do fish keep their money? Let's see if you can come up with that answer. Bye, everyone.